Hello and welcome back to the channel. So the other night I recorded how I put my Tamiya Juggernaut back together, but it went for almost 3 hours. I did manage to edit it down to a little over an hour. However, I thought I'd spare you guys the boring build. And besides, I already went over my unique build in my previous videos. So if you haven't already, I hope you watch the series from the start if you'd like to see how we progress to where we're at currently. I will just cover the highlights of that 3 hour video that I recorded, what's different or new from the previous build, and share some things that I discovered. So, what's different? At first glance, you might not recognize them, but the shocks are actually aftermarket. I finally received the replacements for the previous ones that I purchased. Uh, these have their body close to the same as the stock ones, but they're uh, they're sealed so they can hold fluid in them. Not this. This is the stock one. So just trying to compare a stock one. Let's see if I can zoom in and show you guys. They're they're roughly the same diameter. The body's roughly the same diameter as the stock the stock ones, but those are slightly bigger than stock ones. They do have the same amount of travel. I don't think that those are these the stock ones ever traveled this much though. So I put shock fluid in them. I went with this 15 weight, which is I think equivalent to 150 CST. When the shocks internal was dry, they would sound rough, so they really needed some lubrication in them. I only filled them up halfway because I didn't want any rebound from them. I want the leaf springs to do all the work to soften the suspension. But without the shocks, if I could have just taken the shocks off, but without the shocks, the axles would sway side to side. And initially, I thought about just filling them up with baby oil, but the baby oil breaks down faster than silicone. I don't do any competition. Um, I'm just a backyard basher, really. So I'm most likely not gonna replace the fluid often or ever, if ever, you know. Um, so I had mentioned that I'm gonna dial down the power by going down to 2S from 3S lipo battery. I was gonna go with this battery. It's hard shelled, um, but I didn't know that this is a high voltage 2S lipo. So instead of the 2.4, I'm sorry, the 7.4, it's 7.6, which makes this a high voltage battery. Unfortunately, my ESC in there, Hobby Wing, I forget whatever it is, um, can't recognize high voltage battery, I guess. So initially, I thought my ESC was bad. So I went and tried another 2S LiPo battery, and it still didn't work. So I thought, okay, maybe the ESC can't go down below 2S or below 3S. Although on the side it says 2 to 4S, so I didn't know what was going on. So I went ahead and tested the truck with its old battery. So I'm gonna cover the outcome of that towards the end of the video. Fortunately, I was able to find another 2S battery. I was kind of persistent and I wanted to make sure that the ESC wasn't faulty. I found this laying around and tested it, and it worked. So I guess that's when I kind of discovered. I guess it can't recognize the high voltage battery. So I don't know. Um, but yeah, so I guess I'll be looking for higher capacity than like a 2200 milliamps. I want like at least like a 5000. This was a 6000. The original one was 5000, but it's a 3S. I want to go down to 2S. Uh, sorry, allergies. So what's new? I did swap out the servos due to the, like I said, since I'm going from 3S to 2S. The old, 60 kilogram, the factory claimed 60 kilograms servo won't work with the 2S. Well, it would, but it's not going to get the maximum 60 kilograms that they claim. Um, it needs the higher voltage, the 12 volts actually, I think it said on the box. Actually, that one says 14, so I don't know. I don't remember what the actual maximum torque that this produced. I swore it was like 60 kilograms at 12 volts, which is when a lipo battery is at full charge. A 3S lipo batteries at full charge, it's over 12 volts. But anyway, yeah. So I went to the 70 kilograms that I mentioned from my previous video. Um, so those ones, if I can find a box, actually right here. So that one claims that at 8.4 volts it has a maximum torque of 70 kilograms, and at 7.4 volts, which is the 2S, it'll have 63 kilograms. So I'm happy with that. But right now it's um, plugged in directly to the ESC. The ESC only provides 6 volts, so it give me 55 kilograms. But I plan on splicing the red and black wire, red and black wires of that ESC, uh, not ESC, servo, and do something like this where it's the servo would be powered directly by the battery. Um, the ESC already has that connector, how this was connected to the battery. So yeah, so I plan on splicing that servo to do something similar like this. But right now, actually, I'm using 35 kilograms for the rear just to test it out because I did purchase, try to get another 70 kilograms in there. That one that's on the front, the 70 kilograms, I got for Christmas. I put it on my Christmas list, wish list, so and then I got it, and I bought another one, but the I didn't know that they had ran out of stock, and the supplier didn't even like tell me right away that they were out of stock. On the site they still had it, and then I inquired. That's like it's been a week and I haven't seen like the product being shipped. So I inquired, said, "Hey, when is this gonna ship?" And then he said, "Oh yeah, we're out of stock." It's like why don't you tell me that? So bottom line, I had asked for a refund and purchased from another supplier. So I I think I'm not gonna get them till for another 2 weeks. I bought it off eBay and from another country, obviously, and it's not gonna get here right away. So so the differential, the reason I wanted to put this together, I wanted to test the differential, and yeah. So let me put a battery in, and I'll show you guys how it works. I will go with uh, the the 2S. So let me show you guys real quick that I this is fully charged, and I'll put it in there, and it's not gonna work. All right, transmitter on, truck on, and it doesn't turn on. So I don't know if it's has something to do with um, batteries that has these removable connectors. I don't know, but I'll put this one in. Transmitter still on there, and she fires right up. So yeah, I mean, unfortunately, this don't work, and it's too bad because this has a high capacity, um, fits perfectly in the lowered battery tray that I designed, and just some reason it wouldn't work. So I'll probably end up. Let me see. Hopefully, this works in another truck. Maybe one of the Cloudbusters. The maybe yes. So the Resto Mod Cloudbuster that I'm making. So hopefully this works for that. All right. So let me show you guys the differential. I'm gonna put some resistance on one of the tires. So if you look at that, that's something that you can't do on a stock um, differential. That I mean, I can still hold it and it will stop, but something like this, you can't do with the stock differential. So this is the 80,000 CST, and this is the 60,000 CST differential. So and it's still, give me some resistance. And like I said, I can hold it. I can hold it, and it's showing. Basically, I'm showing that they're not locked. But so I'm really excited. I'm really excited to get her up and running. Um, but yeah, I tested her. She was running for a little bit, and then all of a sudden, I had that same issue where you just hear the gears stripping, and she's not going anywhere. I had to look at, got to look at her closely, and when I was trying to make her go forward, she still goes in reverse, but yeah, just the forward motion, she wouldn't do it. So I looked down closely, and then I was looking at the drive shafts. The drive shafts weren't turning, but it was, the motor was running. The drive shafts weren't turning. So that was telling me that the issues, basically the issue is not in the axles. It was in the center differential all along. So I mean, at least I kind of, you know, pinpointed it down to the center diff. Um, Unfortunately, putting her together took a lot of time off of me, and so I'm gonna have to find time to take her apart again and look at the not center differential, the gearbox, center gearbox, um, for where the motor is mounted. So so for the next episode, I hope I'd receive the servo, the 70 kilogram servo, and then I'm hopefully, I've spliced in to have the this type of connector on it, and maybe I've you know I've already had the center gear center gearbox open, or maybe that's what I'll cover is, the center gearbox open and pinpoint where the issue is. Oh, I'm trying to replace um, the differential that I have. Um, the Juggernaut 1 and 2 uses uh, 5 millimeter, input and out, the receiving shafts. I want to call them receiving shafts for the drive shafts where they connect to. It's 5 millimeters. So I'm looking for a replacement for these steel drive shafts because they get hot, and I've noticed that for the rear especially, it can't handle the stress of, after being hot, and then the stress that's put on it. The the hole basically for the U joint is elongated. So let me see if I can zoom in a little bit, maybe a lot of bit. Um, See if I can show the. Let me see. I'm trying to show the basically the drive shaft. So all right, let's see if I can show you guys like how I want to show you guys how wobbly the drive shafts are. That's why I kind of that's one of the reasons that I also want to replace them. See, see the one for the rear. This is the one for the rear. It's just a little bit wobbly for me, too wobbly for me because, like I said, that one was taking a lot of stress from when I was doing a lot of the, popping the wheelies and all that stuff, and with a stronger motor and higher voltage. Um, but yeah, I'm looking at maybe using Traxxas um, drive shafts, the plastic ones. Hopefully, well, I mean, since I'm dialing down on the power anyway, so hopefully the Traxxas ones would um, be good enough or be able to handle the power. So um, let me take her off the stand real quick and see if I can. demonstrate the suspension. So I feel like she's a lot softer now, and see, she squats more. The leaf spring doesn't bound as much. So I kind of like it because now that she squats more, that means it lowers her center of gravity. Um, yeah. I don't know if I want to replace these with aluminum tubing. I kind of like how these are. It makes it more look more robust or whatever. But the issue with them is sometimes they turn sideways, and I just wish that they would stay still and not rotate. So yeah, next episode, hopefully, like I said, hopefully I get the other servo, so get the servos replaced. Um, put the connector. Uh, further investigate the issue with the center gearbox and find a solution for it. Um, so the difference between the Juggernaut 1 and 2, the Juggernaut 2 has that the metal brace that for the shafts, the gear shafts, they put a metal brace on there. So initially I thought that's just for I don't know heat sink, but I guess that's there to maybe that's why they put that there because the gears are separating from each other. So TXT 1 and 2 has it also. But yep. Anyway, that's all for now. And as always, if you like my videos and this type of content, please share them. Thank you for watching.